Stardew Valley has to be one of my favorite games of all time. I have put so many hours into this game, whether I'm farming, building friendships, or fighting for my life in the mines. This cozy country life RPG is great because you can play at your own pace. You can be as productive or as laid back as you want. Usually, I'm playing this game on my Switch when I'm wrapped up in bed like a burrito, so I'm usually not the most efficient player. But since we're bringing Stardew Valley to this channel, I want to try and challenge myself. I love watching Stardew Valley gameplay videos on YouTube, specifically the challenges, and the 100 Days in Stardew Valley challenge is something that I've always wanted to try. So here are the primary goals that I want to try and complete within our 100-day challenge. First, I want to complete the community center. That's just a given. Second, I want to get married. That means we need to upgrade our house at least one time, and I need to reach 10 heart levels with somebody before the winter season. I want to reach the max level of all my skills. I want to earn at least 1 million in gold. We have to climb down 120 levels to reach the bottom of the mines, and the farm has to look good at the end. I don't want to neglect the aesthetic. I do have some secondary goals as well, just in case. The first is I have to have a dinosaur. I've never had a dinosaur in Stardew Valley, and I want one. I would love to complete the museum artifact collection, and if I do get married, I want to have a kid, which means we'll have to upgrade our house for a second time. I also want to own one of every animal: dogs, chickens, rabbits, ostriches, you name it, I want it. I think there are 20 animals in total, so we'll see about that. Most people do all of this in one video. I think I want to do it in 3 or 4 videos so we can go by season. There are 28 days in each season, so that should land us around the end-ish of winter, and this video is going to cover all of spring. This way I can actually use my full days, I can slow it down a bit for you guys, and if there's anything you guys want to see, like any goals you want me to do, or any tips or tricks that you have, you can leave them in the comments and I'll read them before the next season. But before we get started today, we have a quick word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Heartopia, which is a super cute new cozy game that I'm really excited to show you guys. I'm in the market for a new cozy life simulation game lately, and this one seems like exactly the type of game I'm looking for. So here's what your day might look like if you're spending it in Heartopia. You're basically free to do whatever you want. There's fishing, cooking, and gardening if you're feeling productive, or if you'd rather be social and host a housewarming party or a birthday party or even a prom, you can do that too. You can chat with the charming residents of Heartopia town, or you can even connect with other players from around the world. If you feel like just hanging out, you can go bird watching. Maybe you want to adopt a cat or a dog, you can do that too. Of course, you'll want to plan your outfits for each day, so you can mix and match casual wear, formal wear, or even costumes to express yourself for any occasion. After a busy day, you'll want to come home to your cozy house, and in Heartopia, you have the tools to turn your dream home into a reality. There are plenty of customizations with building as well. Look at some of these creations from other players. Like, this is so adorable. Players are getting so creative with their builds in this game already. So check it out. You can search for Heartopia in either the App Store or the Google Play Store, or you can click the link in the description below to try out the beta test now. Thanks again to Heartopia for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. So we're starting out by creating our character. I'm going to keep my name. Our farm name we're going to name Twilight Grove, and it is a WoW reference. I'm trying to get my dog to look like mine in real life. I'll select my hair. I think this one looks nice. And for my outfit, we're going miniskirt and boots. Duh. I want to be stylish on my farm. And we're gonna go with the forest farm. I've never tried this one before, and I'm gonna need a lot of wood for building. Perfect. We're ready. So the game starts off on a sad note. Our grandfather is on his deathbed, but he gives us a letter. He tells us to only open it when we are feeling unhappy from the troubles of modern life. Well, do I have news for you. Fast forward a few years and we're working at a desk job at Joja Mart. We hate it. This guy from Toy Story won't stop licking his lips and there's a dead guy in the corner. Clearly, we are unhappy, so we decide it's time to open the letter from Grandpa. And he's gifting us his Twilight Grove farm in Stardew Valley. So we drop everything, hop on a bus, and head towards our new future. When we arrive in Stardew Valley, we're greeted by Robin the carpenter. We're gonna get very familiar with her. We'll be seeing her a lot later to build us farms and coops and house upgrades and stuff like that. But for now, we head to my new plot of land and we find that it has been completely overgrown with weeds. We're also greeted by Mayor Lewis. Robin actually calls my house crusty, but crusty or not, this is our new home now. So on the morning of day 1, I have a gift in my living room. I open it up and it's 15 parsnip seeds from from the mayor to get us started. Stardew Valley has quests we can find in our journal. For starters, we have to introduce ourselves to everyone around town, and we also have to cultivate and harvest a parsnip. So I head outside to clean up as much as I can so I can plant my seeds. It's hard in the beginning because you have very little energy and not a lot of resources to fill it up, so I have to be careful to not burn out on my first day. After planting all of my seeds and cutting down some trees, I crafted a chest for some extra storage. In the beginning, we barely have any space in our backpack at all, so this is gonna help us until I can afford a bigger backpack. When I was done here, I headed to Pierre's to see if there were any other seeds I could buy with my 500 gold that I started with. On my way, I met Harvey, the doctor, so I also introduced myself to Abigail, Leah, and Caroline. I'm not used to playing this game on PC, so I keep accidentally watering everyone with my watering can. I'll get used to it eventually. At Pierre's, I bought exactly 6 potato seeds and 1 green bean seed that I bought by accident. I checked out the price of that backpack upgrade and it's 2,000 gold. I think I'm gonna save the rest of my money for now. I went back home and planted more seeds, but that's all the work I could do for now because I was getting exhausted already. So I took the rest of the day to introduce myself to as many townsfolk as I could. I met Vincent, Emily, Evelyn, Maru, Jody, Elliot, and Penny. I also met Alex, Shane, George, Demetrius, and I also met Sebastian, aka our future husband. Normally I marry Abigail, but this is all about challenging ourselves, so I met Linus and Clint. Oh no, I accidentally hit my hoe, and now I'm feeling sluggish from exhaustion. I am so slow now. We cannot make this mistake again. I slowly met Pam from the saloon and Gus, the bartender, and then I sluggishly walked home from the bar, which took me like an hour longer than it should have. I didn't even have anything to drink. On day 2, I wake up with half the amount of energy because of the hoe incident yesterday, but I got a letter from Willie saying to come visit him. I filled up my watering can and watered my crops, and I was on my way. On my way, I foraged my first community center item, a daffodil. The community center isn't even open for a couple more days, and we're already making progress. I arrived at the beach to meet up with Willie, and he gave us his fishing rod. This is great because now we can catch fish to make money. There are 5 fish we need to catch in the spring. 2 are located in the ocean and 3 are located in the river. I found this guide on Reddit, which I'll be using a lot through this. It tells you which seasons you can find certain items, what time of day you can find them, and things like that. So I fished here for a few hours until I filled up my tiny inventory. I caught a sardine, which we'll need for the community center, so I'll just keep that. I sold the rest of the fish that I caught to Willie, and at some point I caught this blue jelly. I ate it up for some extra energy so we don't burn out again. Then I found some shells on the beach, which we'll also need for the community center. Pretty successful day at the beach. I did a little more foraging, found some horseradish and some dandelions. I went to Marnie's to meet her, but she wasn't there. Surprise, surprise. I went for a walk through town and I met Jazz, Sam, and Haley, and that means I've met almost everyone except for Marnie and the wizard. Since I want to marry Sebastian, I need to say hello to him like every day, and I also need to gift him 2 gifts a week. Each person in Stardew Valley has their own likes, dislikes, things they love, and things that they hate. I have a Stardew Valley guidebook. With this, I know everything that Sebastian likes, so we don't have to go through trying to figure that out. I foraged a leek and went fishing in the river. I'm getting so lucky in the river. I caught a bream, which we'll need for the night bundle in the community center, and I also caught some treasure. I got a diamond and some glass shards. We can donate those to the museum in the morning. I sold what I could, went to the river for some late night fishing, and went to sleep at 1 a.m. This was a really good day. We leveled up in foraging and we leveled up in fishing. We made 397 gold and we woke up on day 3 with full energy. We walk outside and it's raining, so that means we don't have to water any of our plants. So instead, I do some early morning fishing. At this point, the mines aren't available yet, and obviously our crops aren't ready yet either, so all we can really do right now to make money is forage and fish. I caught a couple bass, but mostly I caught a lot of trash, but I did also get a geode from a treasure box. So I went to Clint, the blacksmith, to break that open, and then I went to the museum nearby to meet Gunther. This is where we can donate the artifacts that we found yesterday, and later when we go mining, we'll find minerals and other things that we have to bring here because I want to fill this entire museum. Doing this completes a journal quest, so we got 250 gold from that. I also went to go finally meet Marnie, and I gave her a gift to complete another journal entry, and that gave us 100 gold. At this point, I'll take anything. I wanted to go to Pierre's to get any of the remaining spring seeds seeds that I don't have yet, except, oh yeah, he's closed on Wednesdays. I forgot. I always forget that. So instead, it was back to fishing for me. I caught a carp, a largemouth bass, some more geodes, and some bait, which we can't use yet. I went back home, sold some goods, cleared a few more trees on my farm since we'll need a lot of wood later. I had a bit more time left, so I went to the bar to do my rounds and ran into Sebastian there. I said hi to everyone else, and then I went home and went to sleep. On day 4, I woke up to a lovely crow eating my beans. Great start. I still can't craft a scarecrow to scare them off, so I guess that means we're crow targets for now. I watered the plants that I still have left, and I made room to plant some more. I fished a lot in my early days. It was actually pretty peaceful not having to worry about the mines yet. I finally went to Pierre's and bought the rest of the spring seeds that I needed. This drained a lot of my cash, but hey, you gotta spend money to make money, right? I stared longingly at the backpack upgrade that I can't afford, and I went on my way to plant my new seeds. Of course, I didn't do the right math, so I had to go back and buy 3 more seed packs so I could have the perfect amount on my farm. I wanted to look good even in the early days. I needed to make this money back, so I went to the ocean to do some more fishing, and at the end of this day, we leveled up in fishing and earned 260 gold. Not bad, but still not great. But on day 5, we got a dog. Marnie dropped off a stray dog for us. I named him Naruto, obviously, and our parsnips that we planted on day 1 are also ready, so we can harvest those. Harvesting those crops actually completed a journal entry for us, so we earned 100 gold. I kept one of the parsnips for the community center, and we have a couple journal entries to complete now. We have to build a coop, we have to reach farming level 1, and we have to craft a scarecrow. Yes, please, I am already over these crows. Since it's Friday, I want to go check out the traveling cart. The merchant is here on Fridays and Sundays, and sometimes they have community center items and other rare things, but they're always at insanely high prices. So I checked out the inventory, not like I could afford anything right now anyway. I did a little foraging, found some wild spring onions that I harvested, and I went to Pierre's and sold those along with my parsnips. I also bought more parsnip seeds, and I'm a little confused because I thought the community center opened up today. Normally they open up on day 5, but I realized I didn't trigger a cutscene because I entered the town from a different entrance. I needed to enter from the bus stop entrance. So I went over there just to turn my butt around and get there properly, and that triggered the cutscene, so Mayor Lewis takes us to the community center. This is an abandoned place that has been forgotten about since Joja Mart took over, the big corporation down the street. Oh, and it's also haunted, but the mayor is convinced that it's a rat problem. He's in denial. We explore a little bit in the community center and we see this laying on the floor. It's a script in a foreign language. I wonder who could translate this. Oh, I know. It's finally time to go see the wizard. So off we go all the way into the forest, and of course we get there and it's locked. We can hear someone inside though. I guess we'll just have to wait on that. I went back home to plant some more parsnip seeds. I decided to go check if the mines were open yet, and to my surprise, they were. This has already been a really long day and I'm exhausted, but a little exploring couldn't hurt, right? Inside the mines, we meet Marlin. He's the head of the Adventurers Guild, and we learned that this mine has been abandoned for decades. Great. He gives us this rusty sword and basically just says good luck with that. Thanks. I can't wait. So I ventured down the mines for the first time, and I made it to level 2 before becoming exhausted. I did manage to take home a bit of copper and a geode though, and opening the mines also brings on another journal quest. We have to reach level 5 of the mines. We should have no problem doing that tomorrow. Yeah, with my energy, this is going to be tomorrow's problem. At the end of this day, we leveled up in farming, so now we can craft a scarecrow and fertilizer, which will be super helpful for growing higher quality crops. At the start of day 6, Clint is waiting outside for us in the rain. He gives me a blueprint to craft a furnace, which we can use to turn ore and coal into metal bars. We will definitely be using this a lot later. We need the bars to upgrade our tools, and you can use them to craft other useful things. We also got a letter from Willie saying we can go and buy a better fishing rod to use with bait. I might do that soon. Oh, and we got a letter from the mysterious wizard. He says he can help with the community center rat problem. There is a lot going on in the valley today. Before tackling any of that, I used sap to create some fertilizer. We can't place that on any existing crops, so I till a few more empty spots and add the fertilizer there. I'll add more crops there later. I'm also crafting a scarecrow so we don't have to worry about any crows stealing our crops anymore. more, and that earned us 100 gold as we completed a journal entry. Speaking of journal entries, we now need to craft a furnace, and we have to go meet the wizard. So I walked all the way over to the wizard's house, and the wizard is a character. He's one of my favorites in Stardew Valley, actually. And lucky for us, he believes that the community center is not just dealing with the rat problem. He tells us that the ghosts we saw are called Junimos. We also tell him about the foreign text that we saw in the community center, so he disappears into thin air to go check it out for us. And once he comes back, he can decipher the text for us as well. It says the Junimos will help us restore the community center, but they ask for gifts in return. And then it gets really weird. We drink from the cauldron and immediately start tripping hard. I remember the first time I saw this and it caught me so off guard, but it all pays off because we gained the power of forest magic, and now we can decipher the Junimo scrolls ourselves. And this means we can finally get started on handing things in for the community center. We need to find and bring all of the items we see in these bundles here. We can only complete a couple of these right now since we're only in the spring season. Some of them require items that come from summer, fall, or winter, so we'll have to wait on those. And we're also able to work on the construction bundle, which needs a ton of regular wood, stone, and hardwood. And we might also be able to work on the exotic foraging bundle because some of these items can be found in the mines. I actually do have the rest of those spring foraging items for that bundle in my chest at home, so I ran back and grabbed those and brought it to the community center to hand them in. And that means we completed our first bundle. The spring foraging bundle is done, and as a reward, we get 30 spring seeds. This also unlocks 2 other rooms in the community center, the pantry room and the fish tank. Each room has their own different bundles and unique items that you have to hand in, and each time you complete a bundle, you get rewards for doing it. And then if you hand in every item from every bundle in a room, you can unlock a new feature like a greenhouse, for example. But we have a long way to go there. So for now, I went back and planted all 30 of my spring seeds. I handed in some fish and shells that I have for the community center for the fish tank, and since I spent a lot of time fishing, we had a lot of them to hand in, and I had a little bit of time left to kill, so I went back down to the mines. I really want to reach level 5 in the mines so we can complete that journal entry. While down here this time, I killed my first slime, I found some minerals for the museum, and I found some quartz, which is one of the gifts that Sebastian likes. At the end of this day, I made 210 gold from some topaz that I found in the mine, and a fish that I had laying around. Day 7, it has been 1 full week and I still don't have any extra inventory space. We get a letter in the mail from Marlin, the Adventurers Guild guy, saying that if we slay 10 slimes, then we can finally get into the guild. No problem. I harvested some potatoes. I sell all of them but one because I need it for a bundle. I go to the community center to hand in my potato, and while in the area, I tried a little fishing in the river and I failed miserably. Fishing in this game is really hard, especially in the beginning, so I headed to Willy to see about that new rod he mentioned. And then I find out this rod is like 1800 gold. I don't have that kind of money yet, so instead I go break open some geodes I got from the mine. I donated my minerals to the museum, and I got some nice cauliflower seeds as a reward. I did some quick fishing, I caught a shad that I went to hand in, and I also planted my new cauliflower seeds. And then I headed back to the mines. While in here, I found a cherry bomb, a ton of copper, an earth crystal, and some more quartz. If I'm gonna keep coming down here, I need to get that backpack as soon as possible because I am running out of space so fast. I also found a glow ring when I was down here, which emits a small light, so I equipped that. I got to use the cherry bomb to free up some space, so that was fun. And finally, I reached level 10 of the mines, and as a reward, I got my first pair of boots. They have a little bit of defense and immunity, but it's better than the nothing boots that I had on. I do not want to pass out down here, so I'm gonna head home for now. And now I can craft a furnace. I added some of the copper ore in there to smelt. I'll craft some spring seeds out of some wild forage goods that I have in my chest. We'll plant those along with some carrot seeds that I found in the mines. And at the end of this day, we leveled up to level 2 in foraging and reached level 1 in mining. And I made 605 gold today. Look at me go. Still not enough for a backpack, but we're getting there. Day 8 was the first day I felt like I didn't really have to be anywhere right away, which is good because I did not realize how lucky I had been with all the rain the past few days. Using my watering can takes forever, and it also takes up a lot of energy. I need to get a sprinkler and fast. Oh, also I forgot to mention, every day you can check your fortune on the television, and apparently today was a good luck day. So I munched down some foraged food for extra energy, and I headed back down to the mines. My time down here was was going all right, except I didn't bring any food with me. Rookie mistake, I know better. And level 13 nearly killed me. These little guys are so annoying to kill, especially with my dinky rusty sword, and my health was terrifyingly low. I did manage to kill 10 slimes on this mine run though, and I nearly died again on level 14. So I started desperately searching for a way down, and luckily I ended the night on level 15. When I got home, I quickly added some copper to the furnace, and at the end of day 8, I leveled up in combat and made 460 gold. Day 9, and I am waking up with money on my mind. My goal today is to make as much money as possible because we're so close to getting that backpack for 2,000 gold. So I harvested some parsnips. None of them were good quality though, and I do need 5 perfect parsnips for the quality crops bundle. I watered all of my crops, and at the same time, I was also making copper bars in the furnace. I am feeling extra efficient today, or as efficient as I can be without a sprinkler, I guess. I stopped at Pierre's to see if I could sell the parsnips I harvested and finally get that backpack upgrade. And oh my god, I finally did it! After selling the parsnips, I finally got the backpack upgrade. I can now carry double the amount that I could before. Before leaving, I said hello to all the ladies. I got Declan's and gave him some geodes to open up. We got a few more things to hand into the museum and 10 copper ore. Then I found out we need 2,000 more gold to upgrade the axe along with the 5 copper bars. So unless I somehow make 1,800 gold today, it's not happening. I handed in my new treasures to the museum and got 10 melon seeds as a reward. I needed to go to the Adventurers Guild since I finished the mission of killing 10 slimes yesterday. So on my way, I also gave a flower to Demetrius. But my relationship bars were looking very grim, and I had not earned a single heart with anyone yet. We definitely need to get a move on in the relationship category. I stopped in the Adventurers Guild, and this finished a journal quest. And in here you can also buy new swords and other gear to equip for the mines. I am in no position to buy anything right now though, but there are also other goals you can achieve in here, like killing a certain amount of monsters for more rewards. I'm not too worried about any of that though. We're gonna kind of just see if that happens naturally. After leaving the guild, I gave a flower to Linus. Linus is a really sweet homeless man who lives in a tent in the mountains. And after doing a little fishing and a little beachcombing, I had the cutscene where Linus gets caught going through the garbage. George, the old grump, gets mad that he's going through the garbage, and Linus feels really bad about it, but he's just a hungry guy. Then he tries to go through the garbage outside the bar, and Gus the bartender catches him there as well. But instead of getting mad at Linus, Gus just gives him a hot meal. What a good guy that Gus is. On my way home today, I run into Sebastian smoking by the lake. He's just standing there all emo, contemplating the meaning of life. Ugh, I do have a type. Luckily, I have just been carrying around quartz in my back pocket, so I give it to him. I go back home and sell a few things, and we finish off day 9 by making around 250 gold. On day 10, I wake up and my farm is thriving. I harvest a bunch of parsnips, including 2 quality ones, which we'll keep for now. I also harvest some potatoes and carrots, which we'll go sell. I watered all my crops and went to Pierre's to sell, and wouldn't you know it, it's Wednesday again. I will just never learn. I am constantly disappointed by Pierre's being closed on Wednesdays. I checked the TV to see if today would be a good mine day, and it wasn't. But because I have a forest farm, I did find a wild moral here, and we need that for the community centers, so I would say our luck is actually pretty good. Maybe the fortune tellers are wrong. So I decided to say, screw it. I was gonna go to the mines anyway. I made a couple field snacks and ate those, and the mines actually weren't too bad. A little extra annoying because of these bugs. I really hate these flying things. They stress me out. I did need to eat a bug steak in order not to pass out, which is disgusting. And at one point I got so swarmed, I had no choice but to just run for the ladder to get away. But I managed to make it to level 20, and I unlocked a steel sword, which is really exciting because it does more damage and is also a bit faster. When I got home, I added some copper to the furnace. I planted a rice shoot that I found in the mines, and I went to bed. We reached level 2 in farming, which means we unlocked a sprinkler recipe. I am so excited about that. And this was our highest earning day yet. I made 1,571 gold at the end of the day, so the money we've invested on all of those seeds is finally paying off. We get a letter from Robin, and she's saying her axe went missing, but there's 250 gold for whoever finds it. Say less. No crops available today, so that's a bit disappointing. I really wanted to craft a sprinkler today, but to do that, we need iron bars, and I'm not that far in the mines yet. However, it is a lucky mining day, and I'm feeling pretty confident with my new sword. And then, on my way to the mines, I decided to stop by Sebastian's, and I saw him hanging out in his room with Abigail. now. I'm technically not friends with him yet, so I'm not allowed to enter his bedroom. So I just stood there, all jealous with a quartz in my pocket, and then I left. I relied a lot on cherry bombs in the mines today. I can craft them on the go using copper and coal, which I don't want to rely on too much, but since I keep insist on coming down here with no energy, I have to do it. And this was the first time I had to leave the mines without getting down another 5 levels. I was close, but really did not want to get sluggish with all of those bugs flying around, so I left, vowing not to come back down here without food ever again. Instead, I went to go sell my old sword for 50 gold. I did a little nighttime foraging and found some more spring onions I can sell, and I also found Robin's lost axe. I'm surprised I did because it was so dark. I'll return that to her in the morning, but before bed I planted some more carrot seeds, watered those and sold some more stuff through the shipping container, and I went to sleep. I made around 250 gold today, still not enough, but it's fine because on day 12 my dad randomly sent me 500 gold just for no reason. Thanks, Dad. We also got a letter saying the egg festival is tomorrow and there's an egg hunt, so I decided that today I would go and upgrade my axe. I put my axe in my inventory along with some geodes to break open, and I grabbed the axe that I found for Robin. I dropped off Robin's axe and claimed that 250 gold, and I found a Joja can in the trash, which I drank and it boosted my speed. I got to Clint's, broke open some geodes, and got some iron ore, which is great, but I forgot my copper bars at home and I need them to upgrade my axe. Good thing I have a speed boost. Just kidding. This speed boost lasted for all of 100 meters before it wore off, and then my run back to the farm felt agonizingly slow. I grabbed my copper bars, ran back to Clint's and handed those in with my axe and the 2,000 gold for the upgrade. And just like that, I'm broke again. Man, it is tough out here. Looking back, I feel like I probably should have prioritized the coop first before the axe upgrade, but it's fine. What's done has been done. The axe will take a couple days, so I donated what I could at the museum, got rewarded with a statue that I can't sell, but I can use it as decor in my house. I ran to Pierre's to sell some carrots, went to the beach and collected some shells, caught some fish and sold those to Willie, and I went to the saloon and said hi to the Friday night crowd. I gave Sebastian a quartz while I was there, and then I went home, pet the dog, and I went to bed. I reached level 3 in foraging and I made 210 gold for the day. On day 13, we had so many crops ready for harvest. Most of them were from the wild seeds, so we had like daffodils, horseradish, leeks, and dandelions. I used those to craft 10 more spring seeds, planted and watered those, and sold the rest of the crops. Today is the egg hunt day, so it is kind of a write-off, but still I went and I demolished every single one of those kids in the egg hunt. I was ruthless. I was so fast. So of course, I won. And as a prize, I won a straw hat. It's kind of cute, I guess. It's on theme. And for such a quick day, I made a ton of gold today from all of the crops that I harvested. On day 14, my axe was ready already. Not bad timing handing it in a day before the egg hunt. Beans were finally ready for harvest, which I was excited about, but I accidentally tilled one of them, which deleted the entire plant. This is especially frustrating because once the beanstalks are grown, they keep producing beans and I got rid of one. It's fine, I sold all of the crops, and I haven't visited the community center in a little while, but I do have stuff to hand in, so I put all of that stuff in my inventory and headed out for the day. I handed in my items at the community center, I picked up my axe, I had an artifact on hand to hand into the museum, and I got rewarded this time with an ancient seed recipe and an ancient seed. These take a full 28 days to grow, so one full season, which means I have to wait until the first day of summer to plant this. So all I did for the rest of the day was chop more trees until I felt tired, did a little foraging, found some more museum artifacts. We reached level 3 of farming at the end of the day, which means we can now craft a bee house and some speedy fertilizer, which will speed up the growing rate of whatever is planted with it. I am also more efficient in hoeing. Awesome! I also made 985 gold on this day. We're getting better at this. I woke up on day 15 and checked the TV, and the spirits are in good humor today, which means we are going mining. I harvested some parsnips. 2 of them were perfect quality, so I stashed those away for the community center. Now we only need 1 more perfect quality parsnip. I sold the silver quality parsnips and kept the rest as my food supply for the mines. But then I realized the salmon berries are ready for harvest. This is great. This is going to be our food supply for the rest of the year. They only grow for a couple days in spring, so I ran around and harvested a bunch of those. So with my pockets full of berries, I headed off to the mines. And the TV did not lie because the mines today were flourishing. I reached level 25 in the mines, and I got a little excited thinking I could make it to level 30 before the end of the day, but I definitely did not make make it. Instead, I got swarmed by like 20 bugs on level 29, and my survival instincts went straight out the window. I was downing berries left and right, but luckily I passed out down here because that's what happens when you're up until 2 a.m. in Stardew Valley. Somehow, after that pitiful performance though, I did level up in mining and combat to level 2. I finished the day with 508 gold, and on day 16, I woke up to a lovely letter from Harvey. He claims someone dropped us off at the clinic after we passed out last night, so he charged us 214 gold for the medical expenses. Excuse me, sir, I am Canadian. I cleaned up my inventory since I didn't have the chance last night. I did my daily harvesting, and I have some more items that we can go hand into the community center. In doing so, I finished the spring crops bundle and received 20 speedy grow fertilizers, and this opened up the boiler room. The bundles in here are all things that we can find in the mines, and I even have a quartz in my pocket that we can hand in. I handed in a cave carrot to the exotic foraging bundle. I went to Clint and broke open some geodes. I got more iron ore, which is amazing because now we can put this in the furnace to make iron bars, which means that we can craft a sprinkler. I donated more artifacts to the museum. This time I got starfruit seeds, and these sell for a lot once they grow. We can plant those in the summer. I went home and added my new iron ore to the furnace. I cleaned up and chopped some trees on my farm while I waited, and once the furnace was done, I added a copper bar to my inventory and crafted a sprinkler. Finally, this is gonna make my mornings so much easier, kind of. This is just a basic sprinkler. There are much better ones that we can craft later on, but this is a good start. I'll take all the help I can get. I spend the rest of my day hanging around the farm. I found some seeds to plant, and then I went to sleep. At the end of the day, I leveled up in foraging, and now whenever I forage berries, I should get an extra one. I made 2,419 gold today, which means tomorrow we can build a coop. And on day 17, I woke up to the lovely sight of the sprinkler working. It's only watering 4 spots, but still. I did my dailies, stocked up on wood and stone, and I was off to Robin's to build my coop. I exchanged all of the materials and gold and chose where I wanted her to build it. I want it to be nice and close to my crops, and that project will get started tomorrow. This also takes a couple days to complete, but soon enough we'll have cute little animals roaming around. I had a little extra time to kill today, so I went down to the mines to hopefully reach level 30. While down there, I found a mushroom which we'll need for the exotic foraging bundle. I did manage to reach level 30, but then I bailed because I wanted to go and collect more salmon berries before the end of the day. I'm glad I did because I ran into Sebastian and gave him a quartz. I swear I chose the hardest one to fall in love with because he never leaves his room, which means I barely see him unless it's these middle of the night meetups that we've been doing. Red flags are flying high, but here we are. We have 1 heart and going strong, but still a long way to go. This marriage is currently the most unrealistic goal that we have, but I finished the day making around 800 gold, and on day 18, I woke up and harvested my parsnips, and one of them was perfect quality, which means we now have 5 to hand in for the quality crops bundle. Robin is working away at the coop, and since we're waiting on the coop, I'm going to the mines again. I really want more iron bars so that I can spend less time in the morning watering my crops, but first I'm handing in some more items I have for the community center. I have the 5 perfect parsnips for the quality bundle, a red mushroom for the exotic foraging bundle, a copper bar for the blacksmith's bundle, and an earth crystal for the geologist bundle. And then I head over to the mine to start my descent. It was dark down here and much scarier than the other levels so far. After level 30, new monsters will spawn, like bats, and these zombie guys start to spawn too, but that also meant that new gems started to spawn, like amethyst. I crushed like 10 levels on this day. I made it all the way to level 40, which means iron is going to start to spawn. I'm so excited. At the end of this day, I made 916 gold, and I feel like our broke days might be over. On day 19, I wake up to a letter from Jody. She says she wants some cauliflower, which is expensive, but alright. Lucky for her, I have some ready for harvest right now. Robin is still working on my coop, so I head over to Jody's to drop off the cauliflower she asked for. Then for bonus points, I tried to give her a flower and she hated it. Giving her the cauliflower should have leveled up our friendship, but then I went ahead and ruined it right after. I stopped by Sebastian's and he was in his bed again, so I took my lonely self to the mines on a mission for more ore, and I found it right away. But I also found out that my tools need a serious upgrade. I never did upgrade my pickaxe, so the rocks after level 40 require a bit more power to break, meaning it's gonna take us a lot longer to progress with the current pickaxe that I have. So I bailed on the mines after collecting a small amount of iron ore. I went home to bed and leveled up in farming, unlocking the preserves jar, which is great, and some basic water retaining soil oil that can help with my lack of sprinkler. I made 1,643 gold today, and we were officially 20 whole days down. I forgot to claim the gold from Jody's cauliflower request yesterday, so I claimed that 350 gold. I also got 100 gold for building the coop, and we got a new journal quest to reach the bottom of the mines. Way ahead of you on that one. I did my dailies and crafted another 2 sprinklers. They are not in the best spots right now, but I can fix that later as we only have 8 days left of spring. But our coop is ready. Look how cute it is. Except this bush is literally right in front of it. Like, we can't move this. That is a little bit annoying, and I did not mean to do that. But I don't care because I'm going to Marnie's to get some animals. I bought 2 chickens for now, Sakura and Sasuke. I went home to let them out of the coop and they walked straight into the bush. I'm worried they won't be able to eat grass on their own because of the bush. So I went back to Marnie's to purchase some hay as food for them. Then I made my way over to Clint's to upgrade my pickaxe, and on my way there I ran into Sam and Sebastian. I accidentally gave Sam the quartz instead, which is really embarrassing because he didn't even like it. But luckily I had 2 in my pocket, so I gave one also to Sebastian. We still aren't friends yet, and our relationship is so toxic. I went to Clint's and the pickaxe upgrade cost the same as the axe did, so 5 copper bars and 2 grand. So I paid that and we're broke again. Remember when I said that phase was over? But I did go back to my farm and I did some crafting. I made a mayonnaise machine, which will be helpful once our chickens lay some eggs. And I also made the preserves jar that we unlocked. We can add crops in there to make jams and pickled veggies to sell. I also crafted a tapper, which we can add onto trees to get syrup. I want to get maple syrup so we can craft a bee house. So I added a tapper onto a maple tree and now we wait. I said hello to my chickens. I added some hay in their coop. I did some housekeeping around the farm and went to sleep a little bit early today. Thankfully, we made 2,272 gold, so I'm not broke anymore. For now. On day 21, I woke up and Dad sent 500 more gold in the mail. Where the heck is he at? He didn't want this farm, I guess. I harvested some crops and added a bean to the preserves jar. That takes a little while. So I said hello to my poor trapped chickens. They're just babies, so we won't have eggs for a couple more days. I stopped by Pierre's to get some seeds, and the guy from the Joja Corporation down the street is just shouting that he's offering 50% off the same products. And then all of Pierre's customers ditch him for the cheaper stuff. Loyalty is dead nowadays. I'm not leaving though. I will support the local shops and buy my seeds here. Summer is coming soon, so I can't plant anything that takes too long to grow because when the seasons change over, everything not harvested will just die. I donated some stuff to the museum and got 2 rewards. This time they are both decor pieces. I went fishing for all of 2 seconds and caught a bunch of trash, so I decided to go to Willie's to upgrade my rod. Now we can attach bait and catch fish way faster. While I was fishing, I ran into Sebastian at our usual late night hangout spot. I knew he likes flounder, so I just stood there waiting to give it to him, and would you believe it? He knows my name now. 10 quartz and a fish later, and we are finally making some progress. On day 22, my copper pickaxe is ready to pick up, and Sebastian and I officially have a 2 heart status. So after I picked up my newly upgraded pickaxe, I headed over to his house, and I can finally enter his room. We find out that he's a freelance programmer. That's why he's stuck in his room all the time. He's a hard worker just like I am. We learn he's trying to save up so he can leave Stardew Valley to go to the city. Oh, so he hates it here. Got it. After hanging out with him for a bit, I went to try out my new pickaxe in the mines. I grabbed some iron ore, I found a frozen tear, which I know Sebastian loves, and I reached level 45. Then I went to the Adventurers Guild to sell this random boot that I've been carrying around. There were some swords here I was really tempted to buy, but they're still pretty expensive, and I have other things to worry about right now. For now, a pretty sword can wait. I got home and smelted some sweet iron bars and crafted another furnace so I could smelt twice as many. And at the end of this day, I reached level 3 in mining. On day 23, I woke up to some smelted iron bars and found out that tomorrow is the flower dance. It says I could even find a partner to dance with. Fun! My chickens are also fully grown now, so I went into the coop and saw my first 2 eggs. I crafted as many sprinklers as I could with my new iron bars, and I handed in some stuff to the museum. I got a new picture that we can hang up in my house. I handed in some bat wings to the Adventures bundle in the community center. I stopped by Sebastian's to give him the frozen tear that I got yesterday, and he loved it. It is so much easier finding him now that I can go in his room. I found out that he's not so excited about the flower dance tomorrow. He says it's the worst day of the year by a mile, and he's going to look stupid. Maybe we can look stupid together? I went back home and realized I needed to make another chest so I crafted that. I also added some of the decor around that I had just hanging out in my inventory. I placed some eggs in the mayonnaise maker, and I really need to reorganize around here, but this is fine for now. I spent a little bit of time in the mines, still didn't reach level 50 though, so when I came back, my preserves were ready. I sold those and then I went to bed. It's day 24 and today is the flower dance day. So after grabbing some more eggs and putting them in the mayonnaise maker, I made my way over to the flower dance. And on my way, I decided that I really hate this hat. I should have changed. I stopped at the flower dance shop and spent way too much gold on plants and flowers to decorate my farm with, but right now my farm is looking a little empty, so I think this will be worth it. I see Sebastian with his usual group and I say hello. He's not excited to be here, which I expected, so I nervously ask him to dance with me and he said no. There's someone else he wants to dance with. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I knew it. He wanted to dance with Abigail. So I stood there, sad and alone, and then I went home and went to bed. On the plus side, we reached level 5 of farming, and that presents us with the option to be a rancher and get 20% more for animal products, or we could be a tiller and get 10% more for crops. I chose tiller since I only have 2 animals right now, and I am constantly selling crops. On day 25, I woke up feeling pretty upset about the flower dance, so I decorated around my farm with all of the cute things that I bought. I guess that was one positive thing to come from the dance, but I still decided to hide my head in the mines today. The TV said that it was a lucky day for mining, and it definitely was. I got 36 pieces of iron ore from this run, and I hit level 50, so I unlocked these pretty sweet tundra boots. They have one more defense stat compared to my old ones, so afterwards I went to the Adventurers Guild and sold my old boots. I also noticed that I must have found a new sword in the mines today as well, and it's way better than my other one, so I sold my old sword, went home and added some iron to the furnace, and at the end of the day we reached level 3 in combat. Not bad for a girl with a broken heart. On day 26, Demetrius showed up on the front porch. He says he wants to use the empty cave on my farm for research. We are gonna go the Bat Cave route because they leave random fruits in there each morning and we need those for the community center. I did some rearranging on the farm and I felt like making it a bit nicer around here today. So I crafted some cobblestone paths and I laid those down right outside my house. And since I was on a rebranding roll, I decided to stop by the hat shop to buy a hat, which was 1,000 gold, and all I wanted was the daisy. Ugh, I bought it. I deserve it. Tell me it's cute or I'm gonna feel guilty. And they wouldn't even buy back my old hat? Brutal. I went to Clint's with the intent of upgrading my axe to a steel axe, only to find it's 5,000 gold to upgrade this time. I could have done it today if it weren't for this flower in my hair. It's official. I hate flowers. I ran into Sebastian in town today and learned he has a motorcycle, because of course he does. He asked me what I like to do in my spare time, and I said comic books, which he seemed to be impressed with. In reality, I should have picked more farming, but that sounds kind of lame. It's day 27 and tomorrow is the last day of spring. I actually am really liking having a forest farm because sometimes randomly mushrooms and other forageables will spawn on my lot. I did some harvesting and I noticed I had an oak resin ready from the tree tapper. I could have sworn this was a maple tree, so I'm a little annoyed about that, but whatever, we do need this for the community center. I crafted another tapper and attached that onto a real maple tree this time, and I went to sell some things at Pierre's, so now I have 5,000 gold to go upgrade my axe. I stopped at the community center to add in some foraged items to the winter bundle. I found some of these on the icy floors in the mines, so we got a head start on that one. I also added the oak resin to the exotic foraging bundle, and then I upgraded my axe to a steel axe so we can pick that up in a couple days. I wanted to head down to the mines to test out my new sword, so I did, and it was so much more efficient than my old one. It was a bit heavier, so a little slower, but I could kill the monsters on these levels so much easier. Unfortunately, I got ahead of myself and passed out again down here right before hitting level 60, but I did level up in mining at the end of the day, and I unlocked the iron bar crafting recipe, so now I can make those out of copper. I made a ton of gold today, which is great because the next thing we have to buy is a bigger barn so we can get cows. It's day 28, which means we made it to the last day of spring. This time, Dr. Harvey only charged me 23 gold for the medical expenses, so at least I don't feel that bad about passing out in the mines this time. I checked in on little Sakura and Sasuke. They seem to be doing fine, and I decided that today I would get the farm ready for the summer season. So I tilled all of the soil to get it ready for crops, and I crafted a few more sprinklers to help me out. I spent the rest of the afternoon in the mines because I was determined to get to level 60 after the disaster that happened last night, so I made it there and unlocked a dagger as a reward. When I went home, I crafted some torches because it gets really dark and scary here at night, and I wanted to lighten it up a bit. So I placed them around. I tried hiding them behind some bushes and buildings, and there we go. That'll make my nighttime routine a lot brighter. So after one full season, my first 28 days, here's where we're at. So far, I'm not doing too bad in the skills category. I could definitely pick it up a bit in the fishing skill, but I've been pretty consistent with the rest of them so far. Out of the 20 animals that you can get in Stardew Valley, I currently have 3. That will change once we start building the bigger barns. I have 3 hearts with Sebastian now, and I have an inventory full of frozen hearts to give to him. So you know what? Marriage might be in my future after all. I'm level 60 out of 120 in the mines, so we're halfway there, and I feel like we have a pretty decent start on the community center so far. Maybe we can even add some new goals if we're feeling extra ambitious in the next episode. Like I said, these are gonna go by seasons, so the next episode will be summer, and then we'll wrap up the fall and winter ones after that. If you guys made it to the end of this video, it means a lot to me as Stardew Valley videos are new to my channel, so if you liked the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.